I asked Kevin if I could kind of just go through this for him. Kevin Watts heads up our corporate donations committee, and we have a rather small committee. Kevin and I were the only ones for some time serving as that committee. We do have some additional persons helping out on that now. James Partridge and Teresa Michaels are helping us. But the corporate donations is pretty much just like it sounds. The job of that the committee was to approach different local and or non-local businesses and hopefully solicit fundraising or solicit donations for the projects or for the association. We also have responsibility for promoting the association and its projects to those businesses, and obviously keeping the records for those donations. Progress of the Corporate Donations Committee over the past year has actually been really good, promoting the organization and the projects. Together with the other members of the board and the other committees, raised over $235,000 in in-kind service. This is the number we referenced earlier in the grant submission. And just to highlight it again real quick, an in-kind service is something that somebody says they will do for us. If they provide a landscaper, comes up and is willing to do some landscaping for us, whatever they would normally charge for that is the value of that donation to us. But on a smaller note too, if you don't own a business or you don't have a service or you don't have an expertise in some manner that you can contribute, part of the grant we've actually written in labor in-kind service donations. So although it's a little less specific, we do and we can claim a dollar value per hour per person who's up there just picking up garbage or cleaning up grass, whatever it would be. So people can contribute in that manner as well. Some of the cash value that was mentioned earlier and what was raised to help us contribute in showing stability as the organization was it was roughly over $20,000 in cash donations from area businesses that came into the project. Now, all of that and then some went out for the engineering things that we'll review in the construction review here. And then the Corporate Donations Committee also came up with the idea to try to develop a municipal funding plan. One of the things that initially they thought or said to us, DCNR, was a bad thing was, hey, you didn't come and you didn't file under your local municipality. And our response to them was, we know we didn't want to do that for a reason. Because if we were to apply under that municipality, which is Lake Township in this case, then we're only coming to you as a representative of Lake Township. We're representing this park for the entire community, which is 11 municipalities. So when we come to you, we're representing 11 different community areas at one time. So in that, we went back to them and said, not only do we offer your help, but we're hoping that the municipalities will be able to help us as well. And in whatever manner they're able to help contribute a little bit toward the project. It's a little bit out of order here, but just, this was kind of a thank you again, because the we, as we referenced earlier, wasn't just us. This came from you, this came from the community, this came from we, the community. This was certainly not just something we accomplished on our own. And working together as the community, that we were able to make that accomplishment. So I want to take a minute and recognize those people. I'll go through this really fast. Because I know it's probably getting a little bit boring, but initially some of the persons already mentioned, the Planning Commission consulting with us in the beginning of these projects. Senator Bob Robbins worked closely with us to obtain the DCED grant that we got for $10,000. Representative Rod Wilt, before he went out of office, wrote some nice letters to the Secretary of the DCNR on our behalf, stating his support. Michelle Brooks, who at the time was the Vice Chairman of the County Commissioners and is now taking Rod's place, if you don't know that. And the President of the Local Mountain League offered up his support by way of a letter to the state as well, supporting this project from the Little League standpoint. This is the one I said I got out of order. I meant to show this to you first. Under the municipal funding plan, just to give you an idea, these are all the different townships that fall within the Lakeview District. We also included in it at that time Cool Spring Township and Fredonia Borough, because we know some persons and some people who live in those areas that would potentially use the park, but officially they're not in our area because they're not technically in our school district. But to date, and we're still working on this and talking with municipalities, but so far to date we've actually got Jackson Township, Mill Creek Township, and Sandy Lake Township are helping and contributing in some capacity to funding the project. Now, as the taxpayers, I can let you rest assured it's not a large amount, but every little bit helps. All of the local churches in the beginning offered their support by way of a letter that we then gave to the state to just show that the churches and the businesses and persons supported this. All of us on the committee and some others actually had to put in writing with our signature guaranteeing that we would provide X amount of hour labors, and we use that as a way to garnish some in-kind service monies. And then the large part of this, not yet, as far as assistance in the beginning too, Dave mentioned Kim McCullough from the DCNR. Don Altman was a gentleman at Altman in Montgomery, a CPA firm, that helped me in developing the 501c documentation to apply to the federal government, which, by the way, his assistance enabled me to submit that and get it approved within 1 month on the first application, which I'm not an accountant. I have no idea that that was such a good thing, but supposedly that's hardly ever happened before, or very rarely happens. Steve Kimes has helped us out on a couple occasions, drawing up some legal documentation free of charge. Obviously, Bob Robbins and his help with DCD. Michelle Brooks again. Lonnie Brown of Brown's Trucking Service has done some mowing for us up at the field, as well as Tom Wentling of Groundhog Excavating. Marshall Hearing and Mercer, PA donated some monies to create a couple of the signs that we used during some of the parades. Black Shoe Home sponsored some raffle tickets for one of our fundraisers. Cindy Lake Masonic Lodge has been donating space for us to hold our meetings, and McCain Surefine tonight donated the vegetable tray and has made a donation similar to that in the past. So a lot of the local businesses and persons helping out. These are actually what went into the grant too, to provide proof of what the services were that they'll provide the matching funds. USA Tech and Sandy Lake had hosted our original attempt at a website for the first couple of years. We were trying to get that up and running, and it's quite out there yet, but they were offering that free of charge to us. JT Trucking, Tammy Strong, they donated hauling services for over 3,000 tons of gravel and dirt and sand once we start putting things down. Heckman Landscaping has donated landscaping services to do finish, excavate, seed, and fertilize 127,000 square feet of field. Everett Excavating, Wagler Excavating and Contracting, Catavage Trucking, and RKS Excavation, all three collaboratively made donations of equipment and time and services to complete the rough excavation for over 10 acres of ground.